Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rich, and today I wanted to ask you a question. Ask myself a question too. Are your daily activities reflecting your core values? My wife recently trained as a coach, and as part of that she's been sort of running, not experiments, but testing her coaching on me, which has been awesome. And one of the things she did recently was to do with core values, which is basically you go through this pack of cards and you kind of sort it out into kind of the values that are definitely aligned with you, maybe aligned with you and not aligned with you. And you do that until you kind of come up with these sort of bunch of values. And I found it really interesting because some of the values I thought I held in high esteem, I didn't actually really hold in high esteem. I didn't actually think to myself, I didn't actually believe that they were as important as I thought they were. And it was great because I got these sort of words at the end of it, like creativity and personal development. Creativity was a big one, obviously. Got to the end of it with this list of words and kind of led me to think, okay, am I actually going with these core values in my daily life? Should I be sat here in the shade or should I be in the sun? I should probably be in the sun, shouldn't I? I'll sit like this, down the third line. And it's a really interesting question to ask yourself. Do your daily actions reflect your core values? Are you doing those things each and every day? And it kind of leads you to think back to each of your days and think, okay, maybe the days that I haven't felt energized by or haven't enjoyed was because they haven't actually touched on many or any of those core values. And it's a really interesting thing to think about. Like I said, if I go with creativity, what I'm doing here, this is a big push for me to kind of like kick myself in the bottom to produce, to be more creative and to just do more things, and also to follow what Austin Kleon says in his book, to share my work, to share my thought, to share my process, to not necessarily do anything extra, but to share what I'm doing. And I kind of do this stuff anyway in a journal. I'd sit down and I'd be like, right, let's ask myself a question. Do my daily actions reflect my core values? And I think the times when I've been least content in my work and my life generally is when they haven't. So you might be asking, well, what are core values? I mean, you can just Google it or AI it, whatever. But it's like things like personal growth, friendship, kindness, creativity, adventure, joy, it's very, very experience, like feeling based. And adventure was one of mine. So this is me bringing adventure back into my working, back into my day, because otherwise I'm just stuck at my desk. Yeah, I'm creating, and that is one of my core values, but actually another one of my core values is adventure and variation and diversity, and doing this type of work in this setting and documenting different stages of my work brings variety and adventure to my life. And it's like, I'm finding this absolutely thrilling. It's a bit like peeing in public, like, the bush wee, I mean, not like going for a wee in the middle of a busy street. I mean, the bush wee. There's something strangely exciting about this. It's almost like I'm doing something I shouldn't be and I might get caught. So this isn't just giving me a sense of adventure. It's also giving me a sense of personal growth because I get to ask myself these questions and reflect on them whilst talking to you, whilst creating. It's like, it's wonderful. And that's what I think we need to start thinking about when we're doing our work. You know, when I look back to when I was just focused on writing trailer music, yeah, I got to do creativity. But obviously my creativity was hedged into what the clients wanted and what the companies I was writing for wanted. But was that giving me adventure? I mean, it was when I'd get to fly out to another country and record with an orchestra, and they have, without a doubt, been my favourite things about becoming a successful composer, is when I got to go and record with an orchestra. I mean, what a massive adventure. Not just, just recording with an orchestra, because I've done it when we had an orchestra and you're sort of sat there with like a streaming link, and it's so boring. It's so, yeah, it's cool because it's like, this is my music, but you're so detached from it. There's no connection. But when you go there and you can walk into the room when the musicians are playing, and it's like 30 to 60 instrumentalists playing your music, it's insanely wonderful and exciting and adventurous. Which would explain to me, when I look back, why I kept looking for other things, why I kept searching for other projects, creating other things, because I wasn't ticking all of these core values, or more of these core values in my work. And I think it's very interesting because you can suddenly start to sort of explain your peaks and troughs of mood beyond being tired, being hungry, and not getting enough sun. You can go, I wasn't satisfied doing this because it wasn't ticking my values. I read that book, Start with Why, I think it's called. I forget the name of the author, I'm sorry. Where it kind of talks about like everything you need to do has to start with a why. And I read the book and I was like, okay, I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Maybe my why is helping people. And I bought his workbook, and I kind of went through that and thought, yeah, I still don't know what my why is. But now I've done this values thing with my wife, I go, my why is creativity, adventure, personal growth. I do like helping people. But it's those three things that I think are really important for me. And yeah, I actually really loved creating courses, and that's why I created so much of them. It wasn't necessarily always to be like, I am of service to you, which I do believe is important, and this is of service to somebody, hopefully. But it was all of those values coming together, and you go, okay, yes, this is why writing music on its own isn't enough for me. Yes, I love creativity, but it doesn't give me the adventure, it doesn't give me the sense of personal growth. So I love this stuff because it gives me kind of a sense of all of it. Creativity, personal growth, adventure. I can go take this and record somewhere and do something different, variety and interest. So I think what's going to be really helpful for you is to go and look at a list of values and figure out which ones are important to you, and are they aligned with what you do every day? And that's why maybe that's why you can't stick to like going to the gym, because actually it doesn't align with a core value. But when you reframe it to aligning with a core value, you go, okay, maybe I can do it if I bear that in mind. I often found myself, I'd go abroad and I'd come back and be like, I wish I could speak another language. And then I'd sit down, I'd do Duolingo, and I'd be like, ja, ich habe ein gekochtes Ei, or something equally useless in another language. And I'd gradually tail off. Not just because I have no actual daily use of the language, but because it wasn't aligned with my core values particularly. I mean, I could see, yes, personal development, but I think what I liked about the thing, like, say I'd go to France and I'd be like, oh, I want to speak French. It was the sense of adventure that was tickling that excitement. And my sense of personal development, yeah, I want to develop, but I don't want to develop in an area that actually I have no massive interest in. Yeah, words are cool, and being able to speak to people is cool. But if it came down to half an hour on Duolingo or half an hour on a piano, I know which one I'd choose. And that's not to say you can't be creative speaking another language. I know I'm digging myself into a hole here, but I think it would be really important for you to see if you can find your core values and see if the stuff you do every day aligns with that. And it doesn't have to be your work either. It can be like the stuff, your leisure time. Does that align with your core values? And it explains why I've often found it hard to be still in the evenings, because I don't think it's necessarily ticking one of my core values. It's really interesting, fun question. So have a go, ask yourself. It'd be interesting to hear what your core values are. Leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening. You are awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Boop.